Hi everyone, this is Jay Piersdorf. Welcome back. I have some more information on ergonomic mice. If you have had wrist pain at all using a mouse, you probably have seen the video that I did on the Evoluent mouse. Evoluent mouse is an ergonomic mouse that sits like this, and you move your hand this way on it, and it looks like this, very shiny. It has actually 3 buttons plus the wheel, dots per inch, and underneath it has a on-off mechanism here, and then a magnetic storage where you can put a battery and the device that plugs into your USB port to control it wirelessly. And that magnet snaps it back into place. These are really well designed, really nice ergonomic mouse. Not very inexpensive, however. These are about $115 most any day on Amazon. What happened to me was after a period of time, I was starting to get wrist pain from using a computer mouse. So a traditional mouse where you put your hand in this position was causing me discomfort in this part of my wrist here. And so I switched to an ergonomic mouse and found that the Evoluent was a good fit for me, and it keeps your hand in the handshake position rather than twisted down position like this. And many experts feel that that is more beneficial for your muscles and tendons and nerves going down this way to prevent or reduce pain from using a mouse. But probably the fact that I've been using a computer for a long time with a mouse, I developed a syndrome where I was getting pain at the base of my thumb. So if you look this up, it's called de Quervain's tenosynovitis, and it affects the base of your thumb here. There's a nerve in here, and this was creating quite an excruciating pain when I would try to use my computer mouse. There's some exercises and things that I started to do that you can find on the internet as well, which were very helpful, and eventually I did not bothered by that syndrome anymore. But in the meantime, it took a few months to work its way out, and with the exercises I did. So in the meantime, to use my computer, I had to come up with a left-handed mouse. Now you might have a mouse that is ambidextrous, or it's the same on both sides. So you could use it left-handed or right-handed, and in your software, you just tell it to switch where the left and right clicking buttons are. That again gives you back the situation where it's not ergonomic, so you're no longer in the handshake mode. You are turning your hand over flat like this. So I tried a few different mice that are left-handed. Now, part of the problem is that the population, only 10% of the people in the U.S. anyway, are left-handed. And those people that can use either hand, probably less than 1%. So if you look at the Evoluent mouse, if you look on the website, they do make a couple left-handed versions, but not the wireless ones that I prefer. They don't make this model in left-handed. So I tried a different brand, and I tried the Logitech Lift Mouse, which since I made the last video a few years ago, the Lift Mouse is new, and they do make it in both right and left-handed versions. So here you can see we have both versions. This is the right-handed version here, and this is the left-handed version. They're identical, except that they're just mirrored one side to the other. So I can use the right-handed version like this, or I could use the left-handed version. So I was using just the left-handed version while I was recovering from that injury, and I found a couple things that I really liked about the Logitech mouse. I thought I'd share those with you. Now, Logitech makes a number of ergonomic mice. They make all kinds of mice, and I don't think anybody can fault them for the quality of their software and also their design and the ruggedness of their mice. And I think they're long-lasting. They work well. But let's take a look at two. If you were right-handed, if you're lucky enough to be right-handed, as far as buying mice, the two that they currently make, this is the Logitech MX Ergonomic. This is an older model that I bought, and you can see that the lift is a bit smaller, different in their layout and configuration. Now, I mentioned in my video on the MX Ergonomic that I like the software. The mouse functioned fine, but the problem with the ergonomic mouse was after a period of using it, you can see this, it's got a triangular, kind of a pyramid shape on a base. And when I would put my hand on it, like this, I would struggle to stay up on the mouse, and I eventually would slip off the mouse onto the table, and then I couldn't reach the controls as well, so I'd have to work to stay on top of the mouse. So it was kind of and not a huge problem, but ultimately I felt like I was struggling to keep my hand on the mouse because gravity was pulling it off. The advantage with the Evoluent mouse was it has this lip right here, so your hand would stay on it. You can see how it's cushioning your finger, and that keeps your hand on the mouse. So I never felt like I slipped off of it. The thumb rest is right here. And the other thing I really liked on the Evoluent was their button placement. Not the finger buttons, those were fine on most all mice, but the back and forward buttons that are typically used for a browser are right here on the Evoluent. So they're easy to hit. My thumb makes that motion very easy. So if you look at the Logitech mice, they use this rocker switch right here. And the rocker switch, with your thumb on it like this, you have to push back or forward with your thumb. So this motion, I felt like my hand was never in the right position to make both those movements with my thumb. I could hit the back button, but then I'd have to reposition to hit the forward button. So those are my big complaints with the MX. Now looking at the Lift, the Lift is smaller, and they even advertise it as a travel mouse, which I think is really unfair and sells it short because it is a mouse you could use the entire time. And I have been, in fact, doing that. So the right-hand one, you see the buttons that come under your thumb here. These are a rocker switch again, so your thumb has to go back or forward like this, but it's in a position where it's moved closer to, at least for my hand, it's closer where I can actually hit these buttons with my thumb. Still don't like them as well as the Evoluent position, but they still are much better than are on the MX, and most of the other buttons on some of the gaming mice have 5 or 10 buttons you're supposed to be able to hit with your thumb. Well, not without letting go of the mouse. This turned out to be really good. I like everything about this mouse. It works just great. I really like the size. Now in their literature, they talk about this being good for smaller hands, but really it's not needed. See, my fingers go over the tips of this, but normally where I push the buttons down, they fit just fine. I don't have to push them fingertip. In fact, that isn't as comfortable as just pushing your whole finger forward or back like this. The wheel's in a good spot. It does have the standard buttons. You have a dot per inch button there if you want to access that as well. And these are programmable buttons here, but back and forward for the browser. Up to you with the thing I really like about this, after thinking about it, is that this drops your hand onto the desktop. So right here you can see there's nothing keeping your finger off the desktop. And with the Evoluent, they have that little thing here that does that with your finger. But I think the difference is that it makes you move your whole hand. You don't have anything except your wrist to anchor you to the desktop. With the Lift mouse, you can put your hand down, the side of your hand, the heel of your hand can go down, and then you can use more movements that are easier to make, particularly in Photoshop or some program like that where you might need more finessed movements. So really, really like the Logitech Lift mouse. I think I'm going to be using that as my primary mouse from now on. I was very happy with the Evoluent for a lot of years, but the Lift mouse is almost half the price. And it comes in a left-handed version. So if you're like me, if you have an injury that sometimes causes you to move back and forth, then you can have both of these mice for the price of an Evoluent. And they work very, very well. I've used both of them. Really, really quite happy with the results. I don't think you can argue with Logitech's quality. So I hope that helps. That is the review of the Logitech Lift Mouse. And of course, they come, besides left and right-handed, they also come in colors. They come in pink and they come in white, as well as the charcoal black ones that I have here. So I highly encourage you to give those a try. If you need an ergonomic mouse, or you have used computers for a long time, you have any kind of wrist pain, but you still have to do precision work on your computer, highly recommend taking a look at the Logitech Lift Mice. Thanks, and I hope that helps.